8 sermons by Dr. Martin Luther, preached at Wittenberg in Lent, 1522. The 7th sermon, Saturday before Reminiscere. Yesterday we heard of the use of the holy and blessed sacrament, and saw who are worthy to receive it, even those in whom is the fear of death, who have timid and despairing consciences, and who live in fear of hell. All such come prepared to partake of this food for the strengthening of their weak faith and the comforting of their conscience. This is the true and right use of this sacrament, and whoever does not find himself in this state, let him refrain from coming until God also takes hold of him and draws him through his word. We shall now speak of the fruit of this sacrament, which is love. That is, that we should treat our neighbor even as God has treated us. Now we have received from God naught but love and favor, for Christ has pledged and given us his righteousness, and everything that he has poured out upon us all his treasures, which no man can measure and no angel can understand or fathom. For God is a glowing furnace of love, reaching even from the earth to the heavens. Love, I say, is a fruit of this sacrament, but I do not yet perceive it among you here in Wittenberg, although there is much preaching of love, and you ought to practice it above all other things. This is the principal thing, and alone is seemly in a Christian. But no one shows eagerness for this, and you want to do all sorts of unnecessary things which are of no account. If you do not want to show yourselves Christians by your love, then leave the other things undone too. For St. Paul says in 1 Corinthians, "If I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not love, I am as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal." 1 Corinthians 13:1. This is a terrible saying of Paul. And further, "And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries of God and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing. And if I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and if I give my body to be burned, but have not love, it profiteth me nothing." 1 Corinthians 13:2 and 3. You have not got so far as that, although you have received great and rich gifts from God, especially a knowledge of the Scriptures. It is true, you have the pure gospel and the true word of God, but no one as yet has given his goods to the poor, no one has yet been burned, and even these things would profit nothing without love. You would take all of God's goods in the sacrament, and yet not pour them forth again in love. One will not lend the other a helping hand. No one thinks first of another, but everyone looks out for himself and his own gain, seeks but his own, and lets everything else go as it will. If anybody is helped, well and good. No one looks after the poor or seeks how to help them. It is pitiful. You have heard many sermons about it, and all my books are full of it, and have the one purpose, to urge you to faith and love. And if you will not love one another, God will send a great plague upon you. Let this be a warning to you, for God will not reveal his word and have it preached in vain. You are tempting God too far, my friends. If someone in past times had preached the word to our forefathers, they would perchance have acted differently. Or, if the word were preached today to many poor children in the cloisters, they would receive it with much greater joy than you. You do not heed it at all, and give yourselves to other things which are unnecessary and foolish. I commend you to God.